Welcome to the October 24, 2022 meeting of the West Clermont Local School Board. Mr. Romano, could you take roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney?
Present.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Present.
Mr. Chumley?
Present.
Mr. Patton?
Present.
All present?
Thank you. We are going to move into executive session. My reasons are on there.
The reasons are removed.
Please bear with me for a moment.
We're going to take, we can do it, right?
For the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee, to consider the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or student, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
You only have to do that. We're only doing the first two.
Yep, first,
Okay,
First two.
all right.
that's it.
Thank you. We will return after executive session.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry.
So moved.
Okay, a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Patton, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Oh, no, what, sorry.
the roll.
Wrong meeting.
It's all right. Mr. Chumley?
Aye.
Mr. Patton?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney?
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
All five.
We'll be back at 7.
We'll be back at 7.
We have returned from executive session. Mr. Amani, could you please take roll?
Mr. Rudy?
Present.
Mrs. Delaney?
Present.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Present.
Mr. Chumley? Present. Mr. Patton?
Present.
All present?
Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Chumley in a second.
Second.
Mrs. Delaney, any discussion?
Thank you. Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney?
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Yes.
Mr. Patton?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
5 yes.
Recognition this evening?
Good evening. Tonight, we get to recognize one of our performing arts groups. Mr. Brian Fisher will come forward. Brian and I go way back. We came in together. And Brian does an amazing job with his program. He's never shy about asking for things for the program. But
He's a great advocate, is what we call
He's
that.
very good.
Yes, okay.
Tireless hours, the amount of hours that our performing arts advisors, teachers, coaches, whatever you want to call them, put in is unbelievable. For this particular group, it's not uncommon for them to come in from 9 to 9 and have practice in 2-a-days, which is really not 2-a-days, it's an all day. And the amount of parent support, and it's amazing. In our performing arts groups, between the dance, the vocal, the band, it's just unbelievable. So, they had an accomplishment this past week, or the weekend before, that Brian's gonna talk to you about, and we're gonna recognize some of those that were there as well. If Nora Lockhart could come forward. And Elijah Daniels. Welcome. Joseph Young. And we also have one that he'll take back to give the entire band as well. And Brian's gonna talk to you a little bit about the accomplishments of being grand champion.
Grand champion.
Tell us all about it.
How long do I have?
Yeah.
30 seconds?
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. At our booster meetings, they only give me 1 minute on purpose, and they time me because I like to chit chat about the great things that kids are doing. I appreciate the advocate response. That's fantastic. So this past 2 weekends ago, we went and competed at the Mason band competition, which had, I believe, it was either 24 or 28 different bands competing. And we performed at 8:45 at night after coming in at noon, which was also after being there the night before at the football game and cheering on the team, which almost beat Milford. Really dug that. They did great. But we came in and had a great rehearsal and then had just an awesome run and heard some great things from our parents and from other people's parents and other groups' parents, and it was just a really fantastic performance. And watching the students, being in the largest class that we are in, we compete with programs that have been very good for very long. So Milford, Dakota West, East, Mason, all these programs have been around for a very long time. So every year the game is get just a little bit better, 1% better every year. We don't have that luxury over the past 6 years. It's been how good can we get this year? And we've talked a lot about leave your legacy and leave your mark for the program. And the past 6 years have been just immense upward improvement, and it's been really awesome. Mason, we ended up in our class beating Lebanon was there, and then we also beat Forest Hills. So that was a pleasing one to happen when you beat a band twice your size. And it's only going to be bright things for our future because of the numbers of students that we are starting in middle school and the good work that's being done at the middle school, our numbers should probably be rivaling what's going on at Forest Hills in the next 6 years, which will only lead to great things as well.
And Brian, I have a question for you. I'm not sure if you have all the data on this, but a lot of times band programs are starting in elementary school and these other schools that you're talking about. Does it vary?
It varies.
Okay.
As long as we have, I think how we have bands set up in 6th grade is a fantastic way to do that. Every time you change buildings, there's a little bit of retention loss. So when I interviewed for the job at West Clermont, I was very curious, how do we start, when do we start, how do the building structures work? And I think the middle school model and starting band in 6th grade is my preferred method, so I'm very excited about that.
Thanks.
So very excited what the middle school's doing. Look forward to more great things from these. And these are our drum majors, and Nora is our senior drum major, Joey is our junior drum major, and Eli is our sophomore drum major. And we like to audition them and run through the ranks so that we always have one senior, and we always have the next person ready to step up and lead with excellence the next year.
So it's a lot of pressure and they can't be afraid of heights.
Yes. We got even taller things to stand on this year. We got rid of the podiums because they kept breaking, the wheels kept falling off. Just stuff that we've had from the merge that we're still using. And I requested that we bought ladders. The boosters purchased ladders, which were more cost effective and I think a little bit safer with the little ring at your waist. I felt safer when I stood on it, so that was really good for them. And so yes, you do have to be not afraid of heights.
Do any of you guys plan on pursuing band or any musical careers beyond high school, or maybe participating in a band outside of high school?
I would love to audition to conduct a drum corps. So past high school, there's professional drum corps under the age of 21 called DCI, and you can audition for drum major in those kinds of programs too. And that's something that if I was in an area that was convenient for me, then I would love to pursue.
Okay.
Definitely want to play band.
All right. Did you say, where did you say?
Bassoon.
Oh, bassoon. I couldn't tell if you said the name of the college or your instrument.
At UC. I also
At
want
UC.
to marching band.
Okay, great.
We have
What
a
about you?
lot more students going out and continuing their musical journey through college in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been really great.
What about you, Elijah?
I want to go to Ohio State
Yes.
and go on the marching band. It's been my dream.
All right.
Are you a tuba player?
Trombone.
Okay, so you can't be the eye.
No,
That's all right to be a part of the,
we'll have someone do it eventually.
Yes.
It'll be great.
I'll tell you, I was in band in high school and in college, and I always get excited when you guys take the field or playing over there because you all sound so great. And I have never seen a flute trio as part of a marching band before. That was awesome. You guys
Yeah.
did such
We
great
got a
things
lot of
this year.
compliments on that. The
Yeah.
percussion judge actually he's like, I know this is out of caption because I'm supposed to be judging percussion, but wow, that flute trio is good.
Well, it's
So
good.
it's awesome. We try to feature our superstars in a way that really highlights the program.
And Mr. Patton was there the other night, and he was like, what's going on over here? What's going on over here? And he just couldn't keep up with it all.
Fortunately, I don't get to come to many of our games because I have other commitments at my job, and so. But I got to come last, and it was phenomenal. Like just all of the talent that I got to see, and so yeah, everybody did a great job.
Yeah, we tell the students that the one thing that they control is how hard they hustle. So we try to out-hustle other programs, and this was one day where we were successful.
Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot on this one too. You might not know these numbers. Always there's an army of parents around you.
Yes.
So how many would you say as a typical volunteer turnout for a Friday night? Just even, not a competition, just a game. What would be a guess?
Between 50 and 100.
That's
Because
incredible.
we have
I
the
mean,
concession stands
yeah.
that has 2 shifts there. We do feed the band beforehand where they're high school kids, they like to eat. And so we feed them. So there's a shift of 15 parents there. And then there's always uniform parents. There's usually 5 uniform parents that are helping out, making sure that the plumes, the white things that go on our hats, we don't want to get them messy because they're $15 a piece. That's something, if it falls on the red turf, now it's red, and that would not be great. So it's a small army. It's a small army
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's always very impressive, and we're just grateful for our parents and the dedication of the kids, because when we start coming back in the summer, you're out there grinding it. hustling.
Hustling.
Yes, so we appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Get with them. You can send them around, yeah. do that.
Oh, getting out of the way.
We lost one or two.
trophy,
I'm not sure.
They're moving.
Oh, yeah, the trophy is nice.
No. They're getting up closer. Not yet.
Don't hit your head.
He got it. He got
Why
it.
don't you guys come on up and
Around shaking hands on the
you're walking right in there.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. First thing.
Good luck as you wrap up. Thanks. Congratulations. All right, 2 more weeks.
God, appreciate it.
Thank you, Randy.
Okay, no more recognition?
They're going home to do homework.
No, I mean, no more.
All right, just
coming
letting you,
tonight.
yeah, that's it.
We do have one card for public commentary. Francesca Coate.
She's not here. She's not.
Okay. All right, consent agenda, starting with personnel, Dr. Foltz.
Good evening, members of the board. This is Adams, Mr. Romano. In front of you is the personnel agenda for October 24th, 2022. On today's agenda, we have the retirement of Tammy McGregor. She's a teacher and works mainly on special assignment and coaching with us. She's been with West Clermont. This is her 34th year. So she has announced her retirement. Jason Robinson, a counselor at the high school. This is his 19th year of counseling with us. William Sartain is in his 18th year of teaching. And then Peter Guthrie is in his 9th year. So they're all, we wish them well in their retirement. We also have the resignation of Carolyn Jouffre, our assistant treasurer, Jamie Beeson, a preschool teacher, and Joanna Walker, a middle school health clinic assistant. On the agenda, we have the proposed hiring of 1 health clinic assistant and 1 paraprofessional aide. Also on the agenda, we have the proposed approval of supplemental contracts for a home tutor and multiple coaches. We also have the proposed approval for requests for unpaid leave of absences, the hiring of classified substitutes, and multiple school volunteers. Finally, included in this agenda is the request to change approved FTEs by reducing 7 secretary assistant 775-hour positions and adding 14 part-time office assistant FTEs, and reducing 2 clinic health assistant FTEs and adding 1 school nurse. Also included in the beyond the contract is the proposed approval for payments for the individuals who participated in Hope Squad Leaders, CPI training, cooperating teacher support, the West Clermont High School specialized program redesign work, marching band additional staff support, school psychologist casework, and high school coverage for science and special education. So this concludes the review of the personnel agenda submission for your consideration.
Any comments, questions?
I keep going with the consent, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the retirees. I worked with the 3 teacher retirees. I've known them for a long time. Okay. Next, we have approval of minutes.
Item 6.02 is the approval of minutes for the September 26th meeting as presented. And item 6.03 is a request for approval of the October 12th meeting as presented.
Okay. 6.04, second reading of policy.
Good evening. Tonight we bring forward Neola's suggested revisions, internal revisions, and new policy. Since I had a riveting conversation with all of you at the last board meeting around all the new policies, this will be a quick summary. Neola's suggested revisions include clarification in our weapons policy, career advising, athletics and extracurriculars, chronic health conditions, drones, and transportation. Our revisions, meaning ones we brought forward, include some removing names and changing titles from several policies, still cleaning that up, Mrs. Delaney, of all those ones there. Search and seizure, and then using personal technology within the district. And then we're also bringing 2 new policies forward concerning preschool programming and deferring a diploma for some students with disabilities. those have all been practiced. Now we're adding those to our board policy. Any questions on policy? Okay.
Connect Clermont grant,
Yes.
is that you also?
Should I just, I'm just gonna
Keep
roll
going.
through these. Great. As you know, we have been aggressively seeking alternative funding sources to fill gaps within the district in the forms of grants and partnerships. So I'm happy to report that we have been successful in our grant writing efforts lately. We bring 3 grants forward before you tonight in form of a resolution for each one seeking your approval. This will be our new process moving forward. When we are awarded a grant, we'll bring them forward for your approval, along with the letter of, the application letter. We'll inform you of the grant application and the board update, and then recommend approving the grant once we receive the award letter. So 3 grants coming forward tonight. One is the 6.05 is the Connect Clermont grant. That was a $4,500 grant towards our middle school playground. As you know, we now have 6th grade recess, but we do not have much play equipment for them. So we're seeking about $25,000 in total, and through the generous efforts of Connect Clermont, we're 20% of our way there. So that's good to know. Second one is 6.06 is the Ohio K-12 School Safety Grant. That one was for $261,944.50. The Ohio Facilities Construction Committee and the School Safety Center partnered for this grant. We actually applied in December of 2021. We were rejected in the spring, only to find out in the summer that it was approved because some more funding came through the state. So applicants could request up to $100,000 per school to cover expenses associated with physical security enhancements, adding such things as cameras, public address systems, automatic door locks, visitor badging systems, and exterior lighting. Because Clough, Summerside, and Willowville were all built within the last 5 years using OFCC dollars, they're not eligible for this grant. But that doesn't mean they're not eligible for what we're gonna do within the district. We're not gonna leave those 3 out of the enhancements that we make in the district. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and then we were also able to apply for the remaining funds, because roughly $42,000 for all the buildings with the high school and $50,000 for the high school. So we were able to apply for an extra $350,000 last month, but we'll be a lesser of a priority because we were already funded. So, but we still applied anyways for that. So these funds will be used to complete options suggested during our safety audits conducted by Hamilton County ESC, along with building administrators, district leaders, and law enforcement. We're in every one of the assessment audits that we did. And I want to just say thanks to Mr. Parise and Mr. LaFada for their efforts to help gain this grant. And then finally, the Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance. Lots of, we could go a lot of different acronyms here, but it's the BJA, Bureau of Justice Assistance Stop the Violence Grant, Stop School Violence Grant, for $954,850. It was a competitive grant that will allow us to contract with Child Focus for 3 therapists serving only West Clermont students and building staff capacity. Thanks to Mr. Duell for his work in preparing this grant and working with Mr. Romano for sustainability model after we're finished with the 3-year grant. So between the $950,000 and the $260,000, that's $1.2 million that we received in the last 2 months, going towards safety and mental health services in the district. So very excited for this.
That's very exciting.
We're working on another grant through the Department of Education, mental health grant as well. That's due on November 3rd, so we're still working through that. And I just want to repeat the district that we continue to seek alternative funding to meet those challenges we face, especially in our efforts to increase attendance, engagement, positive behaviors, academic performance, and opportunities for collaboration and learning. Any questions on the grants?
No, that's awesome.
Just a reminder that you did approve us to go into a contract with RJMA, Robert J. Miller and Associates, for grant writing services. So it's been very fruitful for us in the last few months. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 6.08. Mr. LaFada?
Good evening. Asking for approval of the temporary easement for Duke to go across the Summerside property to replace a gas line under 275. You heard the proposal at the last meeting from the representative from Duke. So once this is approved, I have a meeting with them later this week with the construction team, and we'll get the process going, and I'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Thank you. Donations?
Item 6.09 is a request for approval of the donations. We have 12 of those this evening, and what I'll do is read the donors. I won't read the whole thing, but if I could just read the donors for us. The first one is RJ Cinema. Second one is the Cincinnati Reds. Third is the West Clermont High School Yearbook. Mrs. Delaney donated to us. Forward Edge, Solid Rock South Church, the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, Lowe's Home Center, parents of student no longer in the district had donated funds, Elizabeth Teets, Jordan Wickoff, and Legion Post 72. So there are 12 different donations as listed there. It's requested that those be accepted. Item 6.10 is the request for approval of purpose and budget statements as listed. There are two this evening. One, the high school link crew requested to amend their purpose and budget statement, and so did the Clough principal account at the elementary school. And so it's a recommendation to approve those purpose and budget statements as presented. Item 6.11 is the financial statements, the bills paid lists, investments, and other financial reports as presented. Two things to note with that. This evening, as on the personnel section, as Mr. Foltz indicated, there were some pluses and minuses with the different positions. There is a report within those financial statements that identify the FTEs that when we had our appropriation measure approved, there was this board-approved listing of FTEs by position. So as we go through that personnel section from month to month, if there are additions and subtractions, we will update that report so that you see what positions the board has approved, and then whether they are filled or not filled with that. So that will be continually updated with it. The second thing is, as Mr. Overby stated, we have several grants that were approved this evening. So as we move forward with that, our appropriation measure will be amended to make sure that in excess of $1.2 million will be added to our appropriation measures. So coming in November, that amendment will be placed up in that financial section for that too. So things are kind of all tying together with your approval, make sure that we get those things also in the financial end with it as we go forward. So on the consent agenda, it is item 6.01 through item 6.11. We request your approval.
You've heard the recommendations on motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Mr. Patton, is there a second? Second. Mr. Chumley, any discussion? Okay, Ms. Romano?
Mr. Patton?
Yes.
Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney?
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Yes.
5 yes.
Thank you. Superintendent's business, superintendent's comments?
Well, first of all, I'm sure everyone's noticing that we're wearing pink tonight, and it's so that we can stand strong next to our very own Michelle Delaney and her fight. And I know you'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but and secondarily to that, in West Clermont, Dan champions, along with Paula Wolf, his assistant, and the insurance team and our wellness champions, a real effort in West Clermont for people to make sure they're doing early detection and doing all the preventative things that our benefits allow us. And so we're just really proud of the initiative inside of the district so that we can have our employees be healthy and well, and we just want to make sure that Michelle knows that we are with her in this fight. So thanks everyone for participating. And my only other wrap-up that I want to share today is that as you know, we journeyed last year into this area called CAC, the Citizens Advisory Commission, and it was a bit of a stepping outside of our box a little bit of how we normally do business, and bringing in an eclectic team of staff, families, and community members to serve as a research arm of the board. And we assembled together, facilitated a lot of research and studying on our first topic, which was middle school start time, and The team was really phenomenal. They came to you guys in May with a recommendation, which was to shift that time. We took that recommendation to heart and took it seriously. You guys gave us the charge to go off and study it and really check the feasibility with a fine-tooth comb. And we were all disappointed to report at the last meeting that financially, it is really out of reach for us in this moment. And so what I wanted to make sure is that we kind of close the loop on it and let people know that that was not, we hope not seen as a waste of time, something that was not worth it. We feel that it was very, very well done, A. B, we know this is still very important to people and not something we're just gonna like put in a drawer and say, oh yeah, that's the report we did back in 2020, whatever. We wanna keep this top of mind as we're doing our future planning for the district. So I don't have any like silver bullet magical ideas yet, but as we go forward with our 5 buckets that we're focusing on, staff and student wellness, our educational programming, how we design and what the purpose of the school district is, how we configure, our facilities and our transportation, I'm hoping as we continue to pursue those topics that we might be able to have some creative energy behind this topic that could end up in our long-term planning, resurfacing and getting accomplished in an affordable way that could really benefit kids and staff. So I just want people to know that we really valued everyone, their voice, their research, their over and beyond efforts, and this topic isn't done for us. It's set to the side for a minute, so. That's all I have. Any other questions for me? Okay.
Mr. Romano?
Okay, and I'll be brief. First of all, I want to thank Mrs. Delaney and Mr. Patton for attending the Finance Committee last week. We had kind of a full agenda. I know we went over an hour and a half with that meeting, so I appreciate you doing that. At that meeting, we reviewed the 5-year forecast, which and really different scenarios for that, which will be presented in November. You know, some of the particulars with that, as we go forward, some of the uncertainties we really discussed and ran different scenarios on that to do that. The other thing that we reviewed was our bond payments and debt payments. I think sometimes people forget about that because it's just a natural occurrence. Well, we have 2 funds that pay debt that exists for Amelia and Withumsville, Tabasco. That's going to be $1.7 million of an annual payment we make this year. And for the high school, it's just shy of $5.6 million that we pay out of the Permanent Improvement Fund. Okay, it's ongoing. So there are other things that go on that, you know, all the money just doesn't go to our general fund. There are other revenue collecting things locally that we do to pay that debt off to do that. An update on our business process review, which started over a year ago and actually was led by, unfortunately, a person that is leaving us. Carolyn Giffray will be here just about 2 years, but the amount of work that our office has been able to accomplish with the rest of the departments, I think has been pretty significant to try and catch some things up and do some things differently and improve. And so with that review, we've done some things that are really involving more of the departments with our system, and that has really helped out with that. Mrs. Delaney, in less than a couple of weeks, the superintendent and I are going to present at Ohio School Boards Association on a wellness program. And the topic is leadership's role in wellness, in employee wellness. There is no better example of courage and leading by example than what you have done and what you are doing. So I highly praise you for that. You are a great example to everyone, not just an employee within this district, but within this whole community. So we thank you for that, okay, to do that. I already mentioned the FTEs and the grants. If there's any questions on the finances, you can go there.
Nobody?
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, board business. 9.01, resolution of appointment to Great Oaks Governing Board.
It's a board recommendation, so you can make it.
I'd like to recommend that Ms. May Hanna be reappointed to the Great Oaks Governing Board.
So moved.
Okay. A second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
I have appreciated that Miss Hannah is willing to serve in that capacity. And with her role at UC Clermont, it makes sense for her to continue. How many years has she served? Probably 5?
No,
6?
well, and she served on the BAC for many, many years. Last year was really, well, no, it was during COVID she started, so I think it's 2 years.
Oh, why does it seem longer than
And
that?
Matt Van Sant did it before her.
Got
Because
it.
these last few years have felt like dog years or something, I don't know. They've been incredible.
And I know that I served in that role in the past, but it seems like forever since she's taken it over.
Hasn't it been longer
Yeah.
than that?
Well, I feel like it's 2.
Denise?
Yeah, I feel like it's 2, because Matt was doing it before, and I know Denise did it at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I appreciate her taking on that
Yes, we
responsibility.
do.
Yes.
I think she's a great advocate for our district because she is a previous parent and then with her role at UC Clermont, and she's able to, you know, link everything together and be a great advocate for the district.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Romano?
Mrs. Brinkman,
Yes.
Mr. Patton,
Yes.
Mr. Rudy,
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney?
Yes.
Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
5 yes.
Thank you. Board comments, Mrs. Brinkman?
I'd like to make sure everybody has their calendars marked for the Saturday after Thanksgiving. The high school will be hosting their annual holiday craft show again this year. And the monies raised from that event goes to funds scholarship opportunities for our seniors going to college. And this is their biggest fundraiser of the year. And I'm sure Teresa Stone, who is the chairperson, is looking for volunteers willing to work the day, as well as make any donations to her raffle. But last year, they did a fantastic job of raising almost $22,000. That went to, I can't even tell you how many students. Some received a full $1,000, others received $750, and some received $500. 17 students. It's incredible, and want to make sure everybody's got that on their calendars as to not miss the event. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chumley?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback and praise you for a minute. With everything you've gone through, you're just still so involved, so passionate about everything you do. You're such a strong leader with everything you put your hands into, which is a ton of stuff. It's crazy. I am honored to just serve by your side, and I'm honored to call you a friend, so thank you.
Thank you.
Before I get a little teary, Who Day?
Mopped those tears right up, didn't you?
I hope everyone has a good Halloween, stays safe, gets lots of candy.
Mr. Patton?
As I said earlier with the band, when they were here, I had got to go to a couple of different senior nights. And again, just to see the talent that we have within our buildings, it was phenomenal. I said, with unfortunate prior commitments, I don't get to join much. And so, but getting to see the performances of the different games, again, there's a lot of good talent. I appreciate, again, everybody that has done, Mr. Dool, for the grants, anybody that had assisted with the grants. That money will definitely be useful in helping us continue moving in that direction. Ms. Delaney, this is my first year getting to work with you. I can't say it any better than Mr. Chumley. He definitely said it well, but it has definitely been an honor thus far working with you. So, yeah.
My turn.
Okay.
It has been so cool to watch the marching band grow from, my oldest went to Glen Estee, and at one point, there were 52 members in the marching band. And now there's 150. And to see them competing, I mean, I was in orchestra when I was in high school, and, you know, when the band went to the Mason, I mean, that was a huge deal. So that it is amazing to be in the thick of it with all those big, you know, big schools and competing. So it is very proud. I mean, I would have never in a million years thought that this district would have that talent. growing again, because we've been without, and now it's, you know, it's coming back. So get those kiddos in there, and get them involved. The grants, thank you, everybody, for, you know, investing. And thank you to the organizations that are finding us worthy. It's amazing that, you know, that we're being recognized on local, state and national levels to be given this opportunity to enhance our services for our kids, because, you know, we are not any different than any other school district out there. Everybody needs funding, and, but we have something special there. So, keep doing what we're doing, and going out there and advocating for us. Mrs. Adams said something about early detection, that they'll be talking about at OSBA in a couple weeks. Early detection is key. It's saved me 3 times. This is my 3rd time fighting breast cancer. Most people didn't even know I was fighting it in 2017, the first time I was diagnosed. But 22 years ago, my mom was diagnosed. We had no family history. And I was diligent from that point in time. I was 32 years old. That I was going to, it wasn't going to be if I got it, it was going to be when I got it. So know you're normal. Know your body, go to the doctor. Everyone hates going to the doctor, but and this last time, you have to know your body, because every medical diagnostic tool failed me. I found it this time because I listened to my body. So please, listen to your body. And it goes for, it's not just breast cancer, it's for everything. Know what's normal for your body, because it can save your life, and it will save your life. And thank you for everybody for your support. This is one of the things in my life that I'm fighting for. I love this school district, and I want to keep serving. You're up.
I want to thank you for your inspiration and your friendship. When I am down and out, I think about you, and I start fighting. So that has been wonderful. We have a long history. I knew her mother at Glen Estee when I was a young teacher. Always liked it because her mother was French, so that was pretty cool. And Michelle's name is spelled in the French way. I always put the accent in for her.
Yep, my ego.
If I write it. Thanks to everybody for everything else. I'm going to forget what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I was sick last week and my brain's not back. But thank you, and thanks to everybody for coming tonight. Looking for a motion, or we do not have need for it in executive session, do we? Okay. So I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay, Mr. Chumley and Mr. Patton. Any discussion? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr.
Our next
Romano.
meeting.
Yeah.
What's our next?
Take over all the drink. You got to come
Our next meeting is Thursday, November 17th.
Roll to adjourn. Mr. Chumley.
Yes.
Mr. Patton.
Yes.
Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney.
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman.
Yes.
5 yes. We're adjourned.